In case you've missed out on the major local and international news updates within the week, worry no more because we've got you covered. Join us on First Next News for a complete highlight of important stories from Nigeria and around the world. You can follow us on our YouTube channel at First Next News for full news reports. Hello everyone, a very pleasant day to you. I hope your day has been going great. I remain your humble host, Becky Usoro. It's that time of the show, Citizens Dialogue on First Next News Port Harcourt, where we discuss trending and interesting political topics. With me here in the studio is our regular guests, Zach Jimmy and Kings Ojalo. It's our pleasure always to have you guys in the studio.
Thank you very much, Becky.
Okay, so let's go straight to the topic for today. National Association of Resident Doctors (NAD) has commended a 5-day strike starting from today, and the issue raised by the doctors include the non-release of 2025 Medical Residency Training Fund, non-payment of 5 months arrears arising from the revised consolidated medical salary structure, as well as outstanding specialties and hazard allowance. These are the reasons specifically why the doctors are going on strike. So what's your take on that, Ojalo?
Actually, the actions by NAS, I wouldn't say is a good one because I believe life are at stakes here. We all, concerning the health of citizens rely on our doctors.
Okay.
You understand? So, but I think the non-payment of arrears, so to say, by the federal government is not a good one. Actually, it's not a good one. I believe these are individuals who volunteer themselves, put themselves in the front line to save life, and make sure that the health of the of citizens are well. You understand? So I think the action is to help government to be aware that look, these are things you have to. These are the things we need for our own survival, for our own benefit, because we are working and we are making sure that the lives of citizens are intact. So for the government not meeting their demand, I don't really think is a good one by the federal government.
Okay.
So from what I strongly suggest, or what I believe, is time for government to hack into the voice of those who are in the health sector, respond to them, so that the lives of our people should be well handled.
Okay, Jimmy, do you have something to say about that?
Yeah, definitely, sure. Now, let's look at the issue critically, in depth, and speak from sides that Nigerians are very interested with.
Okay.
You can't completely take out the fact that we need health. We need our health sector working adequately in Nigeria.
Yeah.
You see, it beats my imagination that in this 21st century, in Nigeria, a country that has been blessed with so much resources, the country where milk and honey runs, we now have people in the front line of services going on strike. It's quite sad, and you begin to ask yourself as an individual, where are we headed to as a country?
So is that they are not supposed to go on the strike?
It's quite absurd.
And unfortunate.
It's quite unfortunate.
Who have brought themselves to the front line.
It's quite too terrible that just like my colleague rightly said, people who are volunteered to make themselves available
for the
to make
service.
people to ensure, all right, that citizens are taken care of in terms of health-wise. They are being punished this way. Now, let me tell you all something. The issue of strike in Nigeria has become endemic, such that you need to take to the streets with placards to drive home your demands. How did they arrive here? If we should talk about strike, maybe it should be lesser sector of our economy and not the health sector, because it is the health sector that has the correct connection to the vast majority of the Nigerians. Now, what are the demands of these doctors, the resident doctors? All right, that their medical funds for those in the residency, the medical residency training fund of 2025, you withheld it. What are the use of these funds? These are funds that are given. These are petty funds that are given to these doctors to ensure, all right, it encourages them to serve. And also, they also spoke about their CONMES, which is the Consolidated Medical Salary Structure. Remember, in April 2019, it was reviewed, and in July 29, 2023, it was made in place that CONMES will be the salary structure. Meaning that they will not be following the conventional salary structure of other government parameters where we use IBPIS, IRS, and all of that. CONMES is for doctors. Why is it that since that time till now, we've not been following that? Even for lecturers, they have work on the footers and all of that. So these are their own. Why is it that the government is today,
and in addition to that,
is yet to follow the CONMES agreement? You see, like I mentioned earlier, they're talking about 2009 agreement, but now doctors are on it. Now doctors are talking about 2019 agreement that we will pay our salary according to the CONMES agreement, which is grade level 8 to the consultants of grade level 17. You'll be paid in this structure. And now you've not been able to assess that. That is their own welfare. Their own welfare. Now, assess their own welfare. What is the current state of our hospitals? We cannot compete with our with our counterparts favorably in the outside Nigeria, because we feel it seems as if the system here has been ridiculed. But don't forget, Becky, if you go outside, for those of our politicians who have the financial muscle to travel, do you know that the doctors doing well outside are Nigerians? Nigeria. So why not come back home and then fix our health sector? Why don't we have subsidy in our health sector? Why don't we have a standard practice of health sector?
And even if you have a standard practice, it's always now expensive. And
exactly.
That is why I mentioned of subsidy.
In addition to what my colleague here is saying, you know, the thing is, I believe governments or the Nigeria federal government will really deliberate on these issues violently, because if they are really, you know, being a patronage to the Nigeria health sector, I don't really think they will leave these workers at stake like this, because time to time we see various aspects whereby our leaders, our governors, our presidents go overseas for treatment, because they know vividly well that, look, the health sector in Nigeria is not well stable. So I really think if they can, you know, put things in place in our health sectors, this traveling unnecessarily won't be, you know, done by our own leaders. So are they trying to say, okay, that look, if they can't, you know, make use of the health sector which they claim they established, how then can the citizens rely? So I really think it's something.
What these doctors are.
Of course, I really think NAS should really, you know, take this easy by, you know, calling off the strike, if I may say, for the sake of the citizens.
Because there are emergency cases.
Exactly, yes. Whereby, you know, lives are being, you know, being at stake.
Is it when you said NAS, they should call off the strike? All right, it's shooting itself in the foot. We have a system that, like I mentioned earlier, you need to take your placard, go to the streets and fight.
And
for your own right.
And this is becoming
So if you tell me that they should call off the strike because you feel because of people are dying, yes, I'm not happy that people will die.
Yeah.
All right, it is quite sad that people will lose life. It is quite unfortunate that people can no longer access basic health facilities and amenities. But then we had a president who died in the UK.
Yeah.
What killed him? He died in a facility outside Nigeria. We had leaders in Nigeria who have been suffering and they've been flown abroad. Yeah. Exactly. We have presidents who travel out. We have leaders who travel. How many of them patronizes our facility elsewhere? Recently, Mr. President signed a bill that we should, as a matter of urgency, patronize our own enterprise. Because I speak to you,
and he also demanded that and called those doctors who are Nigerians overseas to come down.
Now, you've made these plans. What have you put in place to ensure that this plan work? Yes, you came out to say, oh, you cannot travel out. Use Nigerian facilities. You know, patronize Nigerians' own enterprises. But do we patronize an enterprise that when we want to rush, all right, to the medical facility, we don't have a good facility there? But that's on the side. But on the flip side, Becky, let's balance it up. Okay. Do we have doctors who are intentional about their services? Well, because maybe they feel the brain drain is too much or the welfare is not good, is not doing well. We have incidents, we have cases, all right, that patients are rushed to the hospital and they die. A recent case is what happened at the in Akwa State, where a certain pregnant woman was rushed, all right, to the air facility, and she died out of doctors' negligence. At that point, will you not blame the government?
I really think
so now, if you really want the government, now I'm going to put the blame on both sides now, right? Now, if you actually want the government, all right, to fulfill what they need to do at your own duty post, are you able to do your best so that you can now have, all right, you can now have that capacity to now approach the government to say, okay, yes, we need this and we need that. But to some extent, kudos to some of those Nigerian doctors who are out there, despite the fact about their appeal or not. Look at the likes of the former the resident doctor who died here in Port Harcourt.
I'm sorry to cut you short.
Do you understand? So what are you talking about?
Please, let's look at it from this angle as well, please. I really need to bring this inside this matter because, you know, we have rural areas, you understand, and if you look at the states at which the Nigeria health sector is really going, you discover that there are a lot of things that these health sectors lack. You understand? Let's come outside from the city right now. You understand?
So it was really important for them to go on this strike.
Of course, because most especially the rural areas of the states, of various states in Nigeria, you see that hospitals are really lacking a whole lot of facilities in terms of buildings, in terms of hospital equipment, in terms of, so it's something, of course, it's something the health sector should take serious, but at the long run, let them also consider, you know, the lives of citizens being at stake.
So whose fault? Their fault? We have we have the General of Primary Health Care at the local level. It is their job to look at the health at primary level. If they want to, let them go and protest. These ones are resident doctors. Resident doctors is not conventional. So they are just like people sent there to pacify and to help the citizens, just like interns. Do you understand? It's not because you feel they are interns, you can just play with them. They form a major backbone in the health sector at various fora. So it is the duty of the government to ensure that we keep to agreement. You know, the problem with Nigeria is that we don't keep to agreement. We don't keep to agreement.
We're not
not
keeping to agreement. I think has become one of the major problems.
Sorry to interject. Let's move into River State. The 6-month emergency rule is almost due in few days for the suspended governor Fubara. What are the Rivers people expecting when he returns? Kings, what do you have to say on that?
You know, I think the suspended governor, Governor Fubara, you know, unfortunately, even the time of the election, he was absent. So definitely that struck into my mind that, look, you know, probably this doesn't, you know, sound right, you know. Now, away from that, you know, I believe presently the people of River State are desperately expecting their governor back.
Yeah, sure.
You understand? So outside their demands, you understand, I believe the governor has really played most of his role properly. And I believe that has really gained, you know, the interest and the longevity of the people, you know, to come out and, you know, demand the presence of their leader. So I believe, you know, there are so many, you know, things that needs to be put in place, expected by the river people. You understand? You know.
Okay. Jimmy, do you have something to add to that?
Well, you see, the issue about Siminalayi Fubara, all right, going back to power as the governor of River State. It's a dicey one at this moment. We can't lay emphasis on it much because we don't know if it's running. We don't know the next line of action. Remember how all these things played out when the government of the day out to forcefully, I use the word forcefully, and undemocratically housed a constitutionally elected leader. All right, if right before our eyes we saw such a thing happen, it is believed that before democracy will be restored, it's not going to be a film trick. It's going to take some process. But how be it? What has been the conversation so far? What has been the progress so far? What has been the effort so far of the sole administrator Iborete Ibas in River State? We cannot communicate about the fact that yes, we had leaders in this state. We should not forget that the Gazette Mr. President issued on the 18th day of March 2025 to Iborete Ibas was to go being there as a sole administrator and sort out what is the issue. But upon the advent of the retired naval officer. Who you later saw in Rivers State was himself acting as a governor.
Yeah.
He had his aides. In short, he abolished all the governments. He sent them home. He reinstituted his own. He had his own chief of staff. He had head of service. He also had other administrators at the sublet level. The funny of it all was the point that he went and requested a budget. Becky, the amount of that budget will make us laugh. Well, it's 1.418 trillion naira. But the last time Rivers State had such a budget was not even up to 500 billion naira. I have the statistics of the budget from 2010 to 35 of Rivers State. 2013, we are talking about 490 billion. 2014, we are talking about 485 billion. 2019, we are talking about 480 billion. In fact, when Wike left office, it was down about 512 billion naira. But somebody who was sent to a place to rule for 6 months, all right, is requesting a budget to the tune of 1.4 trillion naira for you to just to go and serve in a 6 months. Let me tell us something. If a state of emergency is declared in a particular state, all right, the funds used to run the government for that particular area doesn't come from the state. There is a derivative fund from the federal. As a palliative fund, go and use this fund to run the government for that period of time. But no, what we had was a full democracy, as if it was a democracy setting, so that the budget was now deliberated on the floor of the House of Representatives. We had the budget running. It started doing projects. But what is job to go and do projects? It started doing as for assembly complex. It started doing, yes, good enough. You're a leader, do projects. But the question is, what has been the impact of this project to the common Riversman? Becky, as I speak to you, the unemployment rate in Rivers State it stands at 13.8% as at the data of 2023. But Jack, Rivers State is rated number 3 unemployed in the 36th state of the federation. But if you are there as a state administrator for a 6 month window period, and the statistic is still there, the results are not forthcoming, and what we are seeing is just grandstanding, receiving awards, receiving recommendations, increasing this and that. What has this state emergency regime done? It has done nothing. Why? Because it came on the platform on irregularity. And like I spoke earlier on this particular conversation, that nothing grows on the platform of irregularity, and then you expect it to grow. But on the flip side, it's on the tongue of many Nigerians, especially the Rivers State people, that, well, Fubara may likely come back to power on the 18th day of September 2025. But the issue here is, what is it coming to do? Because already he has been cut short of his administration. Do not forget the same Fubara once upon a time said, don't you see, I'm looking okay, I'm not worried, I'm not bothered. It was in this same state we had 2 factions of protesters, women. They took to the street to bring back our leaders. The same people came back and so now we now have somebody, speculation is saying that he may come back. If he comes back, what is he going to do? Don't you think he will be coming back, all right, to play the script of whoever is his godfather? Exactly. Now, don't you think he will coming back not to rule the people any longer, but to rule to the interest? But how be it? Let us hope that he rules to the interest of the people. But just as you said, let him take the state out of unemployment. Yes, the roads are okay. The producer did so much, flyovers everywhere, awesome. But how many Rivers State people was he able to take out of extreme poverty? Rivers State pride itself as a state of a oil company, but look at the youth there roaming. They don't even have what to do.
Let's go for a short break. We'll be right back. In case you've missed out on the major local and international news updates within the week, worry no more, because we've got you covered. Join us on First Next News for a complete highlight of important stories from Nigeria and around the world. You can follow us on our YouTube channel at First Next News for full news reports. Welcome back to the show. With me here in the studio is Zach, Jimmy, and King Sojalo. So you were saying something, Jimmy, about River State, the return of Fubara.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If he happens to come back, many River State people will feel, what is he actually coming back to do? He's just like a child who had been absent from school, for 6 months. When you come back, you have so much to do because there was a lacuna. There is a lacuna. Let me not say there was. There is a lacuna. There is a vacuum. Okay. There is a vacuum.
So the question is not playing the exact role he's supposed to play.
He didn't play it. It's just like you staying away from work and you ask your colleague, please, step in for me. Okay. And while you are aware, right, you find that the colleague was not doing anything. When you come, what do you do? You will need to go back and redo because your colleague refused to do what he or she was supposed to do for you. Okay. So now it's going to be a very tedious tax, all right, for similar for Bara. But the question is, will you be able? Will he take responsibility?
So why do you think tedious? Tedious in what? Because he's coming back as a governor,
6 months
right?
of people are still going 6 months of administration that you didn't sign a budget. Imagine your administration. You were not the one that draft your own budget. Okay. How will you even start it?
But he can start from somewhere.
You started from somewhere. You had issues with House of Assembly. Yes. The two factions of assembly. You couldn't even move. In fact, they asked you to go and represent your budget, your fiscal budget for the year. Yeah. So a budget was the issue. Now you will not be coming in. You have a budget running. It's just like somebody writing a list for you go to market. It is not your list too. The person who wrote that list knows what you want to cook.
Okay, so what
you are just the messenger, and you may decide to go to the market,
Mr. Zach. I think
you may decide to go to the market and not buy actually what is needed. Zach, you are not the one who drafted the list, so you are angered.
Zach, I think we need to clarify something here.
Maybe coming into power, all right, not as a leader this time around, but this time you may be coming to play this kind of a game. So fight me back. You understand? Because you'll be feeling pain, and also he may continue to pacify the issue he has, which is further. Okay, but then that's why I'm saying on this platform.
They said they have settled.
He has settled. Why was it not there during the election? They have settled. Why is it that Wike won in his own one PDP in Obiakpo, but
he's ready to do anything for the peace of River.
When you say settle, the results are not there. The result would have shown. Becky, the result would have shown in that election. Still life won. Okay. APC or PDP would have won in Ogoni. Just the same way PDP won in Obiakpo.
Okay.
What's the result talking about? What's the peace they're talking about?
Because there's no peace. I feel he's not yet on seat, so that's the reason.
There's nothing like street. So I don't want to flop on this. All right. Okay. My point on this is that. If he should come back, let him come back knowing that he has so much task to do. Okay. The River State people loves him, no doubt. Yeah. He has so much to do. River State is a state that it's the richest state. Let me put it that way in Nigeria. But look at the road. Even the road to our office here doesn't look like a state that belongs to this thing.
Well, Zach, we should know, or we should have it in mind that Nigeria, is a country where democracy is being tampered and played with.
Is it fair?
Well, it's not supposed to be.
Can I speak, please? Okay. Now, when you look at the fact that you talked about the sole administrator, playing the role of the governor, being a sole administrator. Yes, I agree. But when you look at it, don't you think that the sole administrator is being followed by an instructor given to him by someone up there? Okay. That is one of my questions. Secondly, Fubara being the River State governor, though suspended. Now we should look at the fact that this is someone that the people already have in mind. Okay. So when you use the word, what is he coming to do? I don't really think. I believe he still have his people at heart, and he also has some mission to play. So we can't just clarify that the governor, the way you put it, that he left things, and now I really think for what I think, when his suspension is over, he definitely will be accepted by his people fervently well. And I also believe that the governor also has some strategic move he has to, because even if the sole administrator is not doing things accordingly, I don't really think it's by his own command. You are being sent to a particular place now just to administer. Yeah. You understand, due to emergency, whatever. Now, whatever he might have done with the budget, with the state budget or whatever, I think he was ordered to do it. Okay. You understand? I don't really think he did that by his own will.
Okay.
Yes, because this is someone who doesn't have an experience of politics.
Okay.
He's not, you understand, he's just he's a naval officer.
Okay.
Who retired and was asked to come by his own by the federal government, by the president.
Okay.
So I don't really think the budget was, he did it out of his own will. And secondly, I believe the governor also have key roles to play, key roles to look into.
When he returns.
Yes, when he returns.
Okay.
Because his absence, definitely, I know, yes, it has caused a lot of, chaos and a lot of menace. So I really believe that the returning governor has a key role to play, which definitely we can't just conclude until he returns.
Okay.
You understand? So this is a man of the people. Fubara is still a man of the people. Let me put it that way. So his absence or him not taking part in whatever activities due to his suspension, I don't really think that is his own will.
Okay, so let's move on to ADC reacting to the court order of David Mark and former Osun State Governor Areboshola to stop parading themselves as leaders of the party. Zach, what do you have to say on that?
Well, before I quickly go on that particular topic, let me just raise an addendum, just a tiny word.
Still on Rivers.
Yes, just a flip
Just
second.
one word,
yeah.
okay.
When you say man of the people,
Of course.
he left. What did people do? They went and protest.
Of course, that action was taken due to the emergency, the time of the emergency. So
awesome. We appreciated the emergency. We welcome it. Fine, good. Now let's go to this ADC, this conversation you spoke about. You see, when Ralph Nwosu started this old ADC in 2006, he started the party with an ambition that it should be one of the front leading political parties in Nigeria. 2006.
He had a vision.
He had a vision for that.
True.
Now, fast forward to now, all right? The party has grown so much and has gained so much prominence. In fact, in 2021, 22, 23, Obasanjo even supported that party.
True.
All right? Now, you cannot take out the fact that parties that are doing well in Nigeria must have issues that has to do with faction, leadership tussle, internal wrangling, and all of that. And ADC is not an exemption in all of this. We have the Patricia Akwashi-led faction.
Okay.
All right. We had the Ralph Nwosu who left. We have Fubara, who was his vice. Now look at the ADC constitution. It says if the national chairman resigns. Okay, let me start from APC. Then I will put it. I will juxtapose it with the ADC.
Okay.
With the ADC rather. In the APC, if the national chairman resigns, all right, the vice chairman comes from that region.
Yeah.
All right, of the chairman. That's the condition. Now in the ADC, if the national chairman resigns, power comes straight to the what? To the vice. What happened? Ralph Nwosu resigned as the chairman, paving way for Senator David Bonaventure Mark to become the authentic chairman of the ADC. But going by the provisions of ADC, that means Nafiu Bala should be the what? Should be the chairman.
Exactly.
But on the contrary, since it is a party affair, INEC will not meddle with it. You have the right to, do anyhow you want it in your own party. But the issue is that whatever you are doing, let INEC get the feedback. Whether you want to scatter the whole party, change the name, do everything, let INEC get the feedback. Sure. Now, Becky, when this old ADC convention came on board, David Mark, Lely Moke, Rotimi Amechi, Rufai, all of them, they came together. They said, "Oh, the ADC is the platform they need." They came and they met this man already in the party.
They're existing now. They want to come out of the throne.
Now, you understand? So now they met this man in the party.
Yeah.
Now Fubara was the vice chair of the party. He met them. Ralph Nwosu was still the chairman. Although we had a Patricia faction, all of that. Yeah. The issue is still in court, as I speak to you. If David Mark, all of a sudden, is now the national chairman of the party, and now we now have a vice chairman of that party raising an alarm saying, "No, he's not the chairman." That means Ralph Nwosu and Nafiu Bala were not in tandem. Because there is no way I will tell my vice, come on, we have a new manager, yo. And my vice will tell me no. It is wrong. So one, this has proved to Nigerians that the administration of Fubara and this thing was not a uniform one, so to speak. That's one. Two, the whole conversation about ADC, all right?
Yeah.
That they took their matter to INEC. They wrote to the INEC, and once upon a time there was no signature of the secretary. INEC threw away that matter and said, no, you cannot entertain this particular memo because it doesn't have the signature of the secretary. What happened? Few days after, it was brought forward. Where was Fubara in all this commission? I can go on and on and on to speak about this. Where was he? Is it now all of a sudden David Mark is on national chamber, you are now jumping for me? I feel he's just trying to do what? To seek relevance to the party. But what I rather advise him here is that stay cool,
because
stay action, because you made the party. You should be happy that people have now come out to so what you do, since your boss at that time, all right, has resigned. Well, you may not want to resign, but the system may not favor you.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I feel he's trying to, like I mentioned, he's trying to gain prominence. Oh, I'm still in the party. People should not come and dictate to me in the party. We brought this party together since 2006. We fought the party, contest the party. No. At this point, they need to look forward. That's why I'll bring your mindset to 2011.
Yeah.
When the merger and the coalition conversation was brought to the table, it was coalition. Because we had members from various parties, the CPC, the ACN, some parts of PDP, AGA, they came together to form the APC.
Okay.
But in this one now, it is now a merger, not a coalition. So we have this issue here.
Let me interject you. Jalo, do you have something to say that?
I think Zario is trying to, make it clear that, look, there's a common parable. What they say, give honor his own honor is due to. You understand? I believe David Mark was once a Senate president. While Aribeshola, these two people, two figures rather, they've been into politics, so they know the rule. You understand? I believe, in my own side, in my own angle, I really think honor should be given to who is due to, because though Zariu, or the second in command of the party, the vice chairman, is speaking out of there's what they use first come first serve in the Nigeria slangs here. So I think he's using that mindset. But at the same time, I also believe, just as what my colleague said, at the same time, you came into the party, you met people there, and you understand, you should definitely follow due procedures. You understand? If David Mark was announced the chairman of the party, I think you should also sit aside and observe, just as he said. You understand? Him coming out to blaspheme and raise alarm, and I think he's trying to claim himself. You understand? So, but at the same time, David Mark, the former Senate president, I think there should also be an investigation on this matter, because it came so sudden, and I was also surprised by how the INEC all of a sudden, pronounced him the chairman of that party. The question was this: was there really an information? Was there an arrangement? Was there within the party system? Did they really make, you understand, this arrangement done? You understand? Or it was just a manipulation from somewhere, making David Mark the chairman. That is what everyone should observe, and that should be the matter at the table right now. Okay. Was there an arrangement? Was it arranged by the party? You understand?
One word to wrap up the show from you, Jimmy.
All right. Thank you very much, Becky. Well, it's quite funny that we find ourselves at this state in our beloved country, that we see people struggle for things that they try not to struggle. Yeah. We know that they say, survival of the fittest, people need to struggle. No, there are things we not to be struggling for. Things need to go naturally. One, from the doctors, all right, they should be given their welfare. Okay. They should not go to strike. Okay. For Fubara, it should come back knowing that the state has been in a very funny state. It needs to come and do much. And for ADC, they should understand that if they really want to take over power come 2027, we don't want to be seeing all this internal wrangling so early. It's going to further fracture the party ahead of 2027.
And again, I think before we go, please, I really have to let the health sector currently that they should please, for the sake of the well-being of the citizens, do everything as much as possible to call off the strike.
Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
That's all on our show for today. I remain your humble host, Becky Osaro. You can follow us on our YouTube channel at Festness News. Many thanks for staying tuned. Bye for now. In case you've missed out on the major local and international news updates within the week, worry no more because we've got you covered. Join us on Festness News for a complete highlight of important stories from Nigeria and around the world. You can follow us on our YouTube channel at Festness News for full news reports.